Good afternoon, friends. Today is Friday, April 19th. I am recording this chart patterns video for the next week starting on Monday, April 22nd. First, let's look at S&P. S&P is in this last week. I think we have seen in a couple of big, massively down sell-offs, and there was one big rally. I'm still shooting for my target of a 1608. I'll be showing you there's quite a few stocks, especially in the financial sectors and also some technology stocks, which are showing some type of a worn out solution, I guess, science, and so we will probably take a look at it and see what's happening there, and then probably see what the market is doing. And I'm thinking if the market does come back to like somewhere about 1500 level and then it bounces back, then I think it will have probably a lot of opportunities for us to get back into some of these stocks which have rallied significantly. So now let's look at what we're going to look at. It is first, let's look at XLK, which is a technology sector ETF. Here, this is the one which has got what I call is actually a head and shoulder pattern, which is seems like it's working. Although S&P did not give us any kind of a trend reversal yet, so far the XLK is the one which is showing the head and shoulder pattern. I'm still not valuing this yet, but I think only one of the biggest thing is now this XLK is actually trading below the 200 period moving average, so that may be one of the warning sign for us to take a look at it. And then the another one is let's start looking at the Dow Jones Transportation Index. This is another one which actually kind of is showing a downtrend right now. So that itself is a bit of a concern, I guess. If you look at this chart, and also let's show you this is not a actually well developed chart yet, but I'm going to show you this chart here. This is the one, I guess, the trend is actually turning into negative. So we will be watching this transportation index pretty closely to see what would happen. And then let me show you a couple of financial stocks and how it's working. First is, let's look at FAS. FAS is actually it's an ETF for the financial bull shares. So there is ABC, but what else we have is we also have an X5 pattern, X5 pattern which is developing. I'm not trading them yet, but I just wanted to show you what are the kind of warning signs we have here and there. The next one is let's actually go there and try Goldman Sachs. And Goldman Sachs also has a similar type of an X5. Which is actually has this trend is negative. So if Goldman Sachs does come back to this 200 period moving average, which is about $125, then I think I would probably take a look at going back into it. But at this point, there's some financial stocks which are actually showing quite a bit of negative signs. Let's look at Morgan Stanley. Has the similar type of a pattern. This also has an X5, but these are the patterns which I do not trade it. As I said, I would only trade when the pattern actually extends it rather than trading within the retracement itself. The next one is the JP Morgan. JP Morgan also has an X5. This is kind of quite a bit of an extended pattern, but I think so these are the financials are kind of signaling some kind of a negative trend into it. So just to be watchful about that. The another thing which I wanted to show you is I kind of used to monitor two things. One is a copper. Copper itself is quite negative. If I look at it here, I'm going to bring my pennant chart here. This is the one. This is actually has some kind of a symmetric triangle, and it broke down, and it is still falling. And a lot of people use copper as a proxy for the markets. And so if this is leading, I guess S&P may be ready to follow. But as I said, I'm still optimistic, and I think maybe it will probably turn around. There's another stock which a lot of people use. It is called FCX, which is the Freeport Moran. And this one also has what I call is a descending triangle here. And this is the descending triangle, which actually what we are seeing it in this pattern too. So if the descending triangles really materializes, that means we have a lot more down to go. So these are a couple of proxies. A lot of people use it, and I actually watch them too. I probably never traded FCX. never traded copper futures also. Now let's look at the things which have been working really great. For example, the first stock is um, Chipotle. And Chipotle, I think I've been posting this for quite some time because it has a pretty solid inverse head and shoulder pattern, and how it worked out is really great because the neckline of this is about $306, and that one actually broke out sometime right in the middle of January timeframe. Even from right from there, I was giving the targets of between $351 and $364. And now today it actually completed its first target range, which is between 351 and 364. For the head and shoulder pattern, the range is actually the target range would be 100% of its range. So I would expect it to actually reach its $379. Yesterday they came out with their earnings, regardless of any type of a negative news, whatever they had it before, but the earnings were fantastic. So because of that reason, today it went up by $39. And the next stock which I wanted to show is Tesla. Tesla Motors. I think I spoke about this in the last 1 or 2 weeks, I believe. Tesla also had an inverse head and shoulder pattern, but this is an ABC pattern here. It developed it, and this one is the one which actually worked out really well. And I would have probably only gave its max targets is up to this $45.88, but today also it went up, and I think right now it's close to trading about $47.50. I thought it traded much higher today, but I guess it probably closed at that point. There is a also inverse head and shoulder pattern here, which is also working in Tesla too. And this is again, it's reaching its next target levels would be between $49 and $51, but that's what is a pattern. And this is what actually got interested me to actually add it to my portfolio. And then let's I have lots of inverse head and shoulder patterns to show you, but one of the first thing I wanted to show you is really head and shoulder pattern, which is an Apple. And if you guys remember it, Apple, my target on Apple was, because it is a head and shoulder pattern, and in this head and shoulder pattern the target is between $390 and $419, and that is what it actually reached it today. Right now it's closed at $390, pretty much exactly at 78.6. Again, for the head and shoulder pattern to be completed, it needs to reach 100% of its target, and that is it's $352. So right now, today it traded a little couple of dollars up, but then it came back and right away closed it, and there's quite a bit of negativity built into Apple, and I believe Apple's earnings are due. Let's see if I can find out. Yes, it's on April 23rd. The next stock I wanted to show you is Cirrus Logic, and I think I posted this also. And because of Cirrus, I guess, negative pre-announcement, that stock fell about $3.5. I believe it was yesterday, and then right now it did reach its 17.75, but I think Cirrus also has a little more down to go, and I believe its targets are about $13 at the first target, where I would probably keep it. The next one I wanted to show is Facebook. Facebook earnings are due on May 1st, but what else is happening is I'm not trading Facebook. I probably won't trade it, but if any of you guys are trading it, Facebook is showing us some type of a head and shoulder pattern here, and this pattern, if it really breaks down below this level of a 25.28, that means it needs to close below that comfortably, then I think it would probably come out to the first targets would be between $19.60 and $20.80, and again the final target would be $18. But this is only like, right now head and shoulders pattern is right at the 200 period moving average. It's also the price is exactly at the neckline. So I'm not expecting that this is going to happen, but I'm just saying that if it does break down and if their earnings are bad next week, it's on May 1st, then I think that may happen. So let's watch that. Let's also watch something called Aaron Networks. Sorry, this is Aruba Networks. And Aruba Networks, I think, again, I've been posting this for quite some time. Here, this is an inverse head and shoulder pattern which actually broke out above the neckline, and their earnings are due on, let's see, on May 16th. So one of the thing what I'm expecting is, I guess it's in the last few days, actually last couple of weeks, it had a negative turn, but I'm hoping that this 200 period moving average may act as a support, and that's about $20.30. So when that one does happen, I would think, and if it reverses from there, then I think we may have a continuation pattern of this head and shoulder inverse head and shoulder pattern. Now let's look at Melanex. And here is its this is what I call as a perfect ABC pattern. In this, the targets would be yes, Melanex, even the earnings are due on April 24th, but its targets are between $66 and $70. So that's about the first target range, and that's what I'm expecting it for the next week earnings to come out. And then next is one of the stock, which is CNBC has been airing quite a bit of negative story about this particular company called Intuitive Surgical. Here, one of the thing what's happening is it has a formation. It's still forming this head and shoulder pattern, and now it actually kind of broke down below its neckline. So here is the stock which is actually trading below its neckline, which is the $476. Today it fell quite a bit too, but I think the expectation is if it continues, I guess the targets would be between 390 and 408 would be the first target ranges. And let's look at a couple of stocks which have worked pretty well. Is Deckers. I guess you've probably been seeing my Deckers call for a really long time. Deckers this is an ABC. This is also a perfect ABC pattern. It reached its 162% AB target, which is about $59, and then now it's kind of retracing it. But today it went up by $1. Thought it went up by a little bit more too before. But anyway, so that's what is this Deckers is. And let me also show you another one is the Green Mountain Coffee. This also has an ABC pattern. The targets would be on this one is between $60 and $63, and that's about 227 to 262%. That's about $63, and that's actually the second target range. But the first target range is 31 to 34, and the second target would be 41 to 47. It blew through both of them. The next target ranges would be between 227 and 262. That's I think about $60 and $63. Next stock I wanted to show you is Intel. Here, Intel came out. Intel's earnings were due like April 16th. So they did have a okay earnings, and I think So I am still trading Intel, and I guess my target is 22.50, which actually just reached, and then it 22.50 to $23 is the first target range, and the second targets would be about $24. And let's look at Monster. Monster also has an inverse head and shoulder pattern, and it also has an ABC pattern. So let me show you both of them. Here is the inverse head and shoulder pattern here, which is now just at the neckline, and Monster also has earnings due on May 8th. So I'm hoping that it would continue its trend, because it's actually reversed it, and then it's continuing in the last this week it did pretty well. So the target ranges I guess would be, the first target would be about $64. That's about $9 from here. Although this is quite a bit of a negative story stock, but regardless of it, it seems like it's doing pretty well. Next one is a here is the Merck. Merck again, it also has the inverse head and shoulder pattern, and this is the one which actually just reached its 100% target, which is about 47 based on the inverse head and shoulder pattern. But its actual targets would be, even if you use it using the ABC pattern, and ABC pattern is right here, and that's how we will be seeing it. So that it's also reached its secondary targets, which is between $46 and $47. Next one I'll probably quickly go through is Nike. There's a Nike. Nike is also still continuing its trend in ABC, and then The other one I wanted to show you is the BAC, which is the Bank of America. Again, it's part of the financials. It's also showing some type of a negative trend. Bank of America also has an X5 pattern, which also has this is part of the financials I should have shown, but I think it also started to show a kind of a negative trend there too. Next one is a BlackRock. BlackRock has quite a bit of patterns, I guess. The one is of course the ABC, which we see it here, and the next one is BlackRock also has an inverse head and shoulder pattern here, and then it's also forming now. It's X5 pattern. Okay. Next one is Citigroup. Here is the Citigroup's X5 pattern too. Okay. Let's see Cisco. Cisco also has a X5, and X5 is now it's actually in a negative, in the confirmed downtrend. I guess the targets would be quickly probably about $19.25. Next one is a coin X5. Here is the Coinstar pattern. I think I want to conclude with this one, which is called a here. This is the ultra short euro, that's a euro dollar. So one of the thing what's happening is it has an ABC pattern, but in addition to that it also has an inverse head and shoulder pattern. And this pattern is basically we will only trade it when the price actually trades above the neckline, which is about $20.22, and that's when we'll probably wanted to trade it. But I just wanted to show you that's what is happening. That's it, guys, and I am still working on my website, new website, and I think I will be launching it on sometime, I guess, end of this month. I'll be actually quite excited because I think the new design is pretty cool, where you get to see lots of these patterns and also lots of quite a bit of slideshows and all. So I'll be giving you a preview probably the next week. Thanks a lot, and have a great weekend.